It's that time again for a special edition of Bedlam Buds. I'm Ryan, Boomer Center, and this is my buddy Jeremy. Wearing the elf cap. We have already talked about Christmas songs. We already recorded a conversation about Christmas movies. And today we are celebrating. By the way, did you forget one?
I discovered one. I did.
Which one?
Klaus.
Oh, Klaus?
Klaus.
My wife mentioned.
I love
So
it.
my wife's favorite movie also is the Muppet movie Carol, Christmas Carol. But her number 2 is Miracle on 34th Street. And I'm like, oh, that's a classic. I don't know that I've ever seen it.
I've never seen it. Yeah.
There was some,
But no, Klaus. I just can't believe it. I just flipped on, I told you I was going to watch some Christmas movies. And sure enough, when I went to, I think it's on Netflix, and there it was just first off. And I just was so disappointed in myself that I forgot Klaus. So I apologize to Klaus and all the great people that made that movie.
Oh,
also Rashida Jones.
Well, there you have it.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons' greatness. That will be part of our Christmas Oklahoma Memo newsletter. There'll be some headlines in there, but largely you're going to get a triple dose of Jeremy and myself, Bedlam Buds, as we talk about all things Christmas. You can subscribe to that at oklahomamemo.com/subscribe. And I will tell you, for right now, you're going to still see Bedlam Buds on YouTube. It's just an easier way to organize it. But in 2026, we will have separate social channels for Bedlam Buds as we expand what we're doing here. So that means TikTok, that means Facebook, that means Instagram. So be looking for that. But today is a very special, specific day. It is December the 23rd. Do you know what December the 23rd is?
It's Festivus.
It is Festivus, and it's for the rest of us. Popularized by the TV show Seinfeld. Starts with the proclamation from Frank Costanza. I've got a lot of problems with you people. And it's become a day to air your grievances. So I thought that you and I would get together and air some of our grievances. And we talked about, should we have 3? Should we have 5? Let's just start with 3, and then we can expand. As is per our tradition, how about you go first? And I take it these are probably in no particular order.
Absolutely no particular order. All of these things are equally
awesome.
Right? So they're all on that, at a scale of 100, these are about a 113. Okay. Now, my first one, and I got a lot of problem with you people, and it's you people who spoiled the end of sporting events. If I'm recording a game, or if I'm going to go back and watch a game after the fact, like I have things I have to do, family events, or I have to, work or whatever, and I can't watch an event, and I've told you, hey, I'm not going to watch, let me finish it. And then you send me texts during the event. You send me scores or updates and say, I'm not saying anything. I got a big problem with that. That's an absolute no-no.
I completely agree with you. And I am a respecter of that. I was not a respecter of that when I worked at News 9. I figure if you've got or News on 6, I figure if you have the app, you need to turn notifications off. But I never spoil it for anybody else. What I hate is when I go to ESPN and I see the score there. Again, that's my problem. But I will tell you this. I'm in agreement with you, and what I hate is that if I'm watching, let's say, the OU game, but I didn't watch the Spurs game that morning, why are you running a box score crawl at the bottom of that screen? Nobody gives a shit. What are you doing? Nobody cares. Don't run the crawler. Show the game, no other scores, because we live in an on-demand world.
I was in Cuba one time watching a U.S. soccer match, and across the bottom of the screen, and I had it set. I mean, the first thing I did when I got home was go to watch Arsenal, and it was in the FA Cup final. It's been several years ago. And I mean, it was like literally the next day we were getting to go home, and I was going to set up. My family is ready. We're going to have a big deal. And across the bottom of the screen during a U.S. soccer match, they gave the final the FA Cup score, and it ruined everything for me. I couldn't believe it. ESPN.
I completely agree with you. So if they really want to promote their content, they could just acknowledge that match happened and that you can go watch it later on CTV, connected TV, the app, wherever. Quit giving away the scores of these games.
Thank you.
Because theoretically, the same goes for the NFL. Because my wife and I and stepdaughter, we all go work out on Sundays. I could record a noon game and I could record a 325 game, but I might as well just keep up with it because there's no way it's not going to get spoiled for me along the way.
Absolutely, and what even makes that worse is, when you have people who know that you're working out, and again, they think they're not saying anything, but one time, I had a guy and I told him, "Do not say a word. It was a big, important game. Do not say a word," and he said, "Okay, I won't say a thing, but you're gonna like it."
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I literally I'm not speechless a lot, and I just stood there and went, "Joe."
Yeah.
And walked away because, oh, there was cartoon steam were coming out of my ears.
You want
Like,
that tension. You want
don't
that
do
tension when you're watching.
absolutely. I want to act like it's a live event. I want to have that same experience as everybody else. Just because you've seen it doesn't have to spoil it for anybody else. Don't tell me this ending of movies. I've never seen Titanic. I don't want to know how it ends until I get that chance. Okay.
I mean,
Uh,
you do know how it ends.
Technically, I don't.
Okay.
Actually, I do. But but don't tell me how these things end, especially sporting events. My Arsenal friends, I have several of them trained to where they will text, "Are you watching? Do you want updates?" And if I say no, then they respect that. But there's always one or two asshats. Mm.
I do think that, you and myself,
Oh,
we're obligated to say that we don't want the updates. You can't assume
oh, correct.
because it is an on-demand world, but this is also very much a live event world. All right, so I agree with you totally. And here's my first one. And this is appropriate for this time of year because when you get outside, it looks dark, and I get that. However, there is a class of people out there who want daylight saving time, and it's daylight saving, not savings. They want daylight saving time all year. And the United States has tried this. They tried this in the early 70s, and it had elementary school kids walking to the bus in complete dark at 8:30 a.m. These aren't just science Luddites, they're ignoramuses. They really are. And you know which part of the political aisle this comes from typically. Well, we're losing daylight. No, you're not. The days are shorter during winter. This is how it works, Einstein. The days are shorter during winter. December 21st, winter solstice is the shortest day of the year. June 21st, summer solstice is the longest day of the year. And it all gets better after December 21st. I like sunlight too. I don't love that it gets dark so early. Jeremy, I'm going to go grill tonight. I can't see. I'm old. But the problem is that as important as sun is to our health, so is darkness. Because I will tell you, a lot of problems, not just in American society, but in this hustle bustle culture that we live in, a lot of those problems start with sleep, bad sleep and lack of sleep. You need darkness, and you need darkness earlier. The ideal time to go to bed is when you're tired. The ideal time to go to bed is the first sign that you're tired and it's dark. And that's why early to bed, early to rise makes a person healthy, wealthy, and wise. So I'm not like that all the time. I do like to stay up late. I'm probably more naturally a night owl. However, the older that I get, summer, it's kind of a difficult time for me to sleep because it's still light at 9:15 at night. Come on, stop it.
So one time we were in Scotland, and when my kids were young, and it was in the middle of summer, and so it did not get dark.
Yeah.
Because we were in Inverness, we were way up there, and it was 11 o'clock at night, and we were trying to close all the curtains, do all the rest of it because my 3-year-old was still bouncing off the wall because it was still light
Right.
outside. What are we doing?
We experienced the same thing this summer in Paris. We had an option to go see the Eiffel Tower with the lights, and we thought, "Oh, okay, great, 9:30." No, no, no. It's not getting dark there till 11. And so and I don't mind that, but the thing is that if you're gonna switch the times to 1, I think truth of the matter is that we're probably best served by the time change. Yeah, it's an inconvenience, but you get the best of both worlds. You get a little more light. Theoretically, you get to experience more light in the summer, and you get normalcy during the winter. And it's more important that your mornings are bright than your evenings are light. People are like,
No, that's exactly my point as well. I mean, because you know, your little kids standing out at the school bus stop, even if it's 8 o'clock in the morning, if it's dark, that is not ideal. When they're coming home 3, 4 o'clock, it will still be light. And so that's where I am. But I, people are going to find an excuse to gripe about something, even when it works.
Festivus, that is our day to do it. Jeremy, your second grievance that you're going to air.
I got a lot of problems with these people who drive below the speed limit. You're just as dangerous as the people who speed. We're just not as obvious about it because you are slowing down traffic. You're breaking. There's even a speeding ticket. Technically, you are breaking the law. It is called impeding the flow of traffic. I've had one of those before when my car died on the highway. So I know this is a real thing. Just don't ask details.
I
But
agree with you. I agree with you.
people who drive below the speed limit, I mean, just because you have nowhere to go and you got nothing to do doesn't mean the rest of us want to be doing 25 in a 45-mile-an-hour. I'm not asking you to speed. Wouldn't be mine by it, but I'm not asking you to speed. At least do the speed limit. Come on, get off your phone and drive.
And get off your phone or lay off the edibles before you drive because that's another thing. You're like, I'm going really fast. No, no, you're not. You're going 10. So I
All right, Beavis and Butthead.
right, right. I agree with you. And I think that people who drive too slowly are more dangerous than the ones who drive too fast. And I'm not talking about Audubon fast. However, I lived in Dallas for almost 11 years. I got to where I was really good driving in Dallas. On the side streets, my first experience driving up Hillcrest, which turns into Ohio as you get into Plano, people were going home at 60, 70 miles on a side street. You have to know, you have to be paying attention. You have to know how to merge, how to get in and out, and you have to be able to do it not at the speed limit. Usually it's a speed limit plus 10. And if you're going 40 miles an hour, you are going to cause the accident.
100%. Absolutely know exactly what you're talking about. It absolutely sets me on fire.
Right, here's
Absolutely.
my second one.
So
Oh, go ahead. No,
no, I was gonna
yeah.
ask. So give us your
Here's
second.
my second one. That the group of people I got a lot of problems with you people. Those of you who call yourselves grammar Nazis. First off, it is not a cool thing to call yourself a Nazi of any kind. Don't. It's not cool. It does not just mean anal. It means that you're a murderer. But the second thing is that it's almost a self-identifying admission by saying that you're a grammar Nazi usually tells me 9 times out of 10 that you actually can't write. I've copy edited my entire life for grammar, for style, for AP style, not like APA or Chicago style or anything like that, but just for standard grammar. And am I perfect? No, there are people in the newspaper business who are a lot better than I am. But truth of the matter is that most people, and it's gotten worse over time, the writing, just the general ability, literacy is the ability to read and write. I would argue we're probably a nation filled with half illiterates.
Oh, I would argue maybe more than that, and it's getting worse. The younger generations, they can work their cell phone, so everybody thinks they know how to do technology and know how to do this. These are kids that will look at a red squiggly line on their Word document and have no idea what it means, right? And you can tell those who actually do know how to write and those who are always going right click, trying to fix it through. We absolutely don't know how to write anymore. We don't know how to spell anymore. We rely on technology to do all of that for us. So when we are ever placed into a situation where we have to do our own spelling, we can't.
And I understand that some people
100% agree.
are challenged by spelling, but what my argument has always been, you don't really know what the word means if you can't spell it because it's all about roots and the origins of words.
Well, and honestly, how many people don't know the meanings of the words and then don't find out, don't
Right.
ask. So they just don't understand the context at
Right.
all, regardless of anything else. I've dealt with that a tremendous amount, but 100% agree. We have absolutely lost that skill. We're basically going back to hieroglyphs when we could communicate using only emojis or emoticons or whatever you want to call them. And I've been saying that for years. And it is the modern language. The young people will
Yeah,
make that
yeah.
determination, but it doesn't mean I have to like.
Language is fluid, man, and new words get introduced to the dictionary all the time. The way people spoke in the 1770s is probably a lot different than the way they speak now. We would be freaked out by it. Um,
Well, absolutely. If you historically you got Beowulf and in its old English, that was English at its time. We modern English speakers can't understand a single word of it. We can't read a word of it. Then you go to the Decameron, then you can go to Shakespeare, then you can go to King James Bible, then you can go to the Declaration of Independence, and you can watch how that changes. Language is absolutely fluid and it absolutely changes, but we still need to do it the right way.
completely agree, and I've got a tip for anybody who struggles with that. Just use Grammarly. You might learn it backward. So it'll make a change, and then you sort of like, "Oh, that's how that goes," and then you sort of pick it up that way. That's why I've never had a problem. We're both musicians, Jeremy. I don't have if somebody's trying to learn a new instrument, pick out a song on the radio and try to pick it out on the piano. You'll start to understand notes and chord structures and, that C, F, G, 1, 4, 5 go together. There are many ways to remedy this.
Yeah, absolutely. But as we both know, you have to want to.
You gotta want to. Well, we live in a world where it's sort of like cool to be dumb, and people won't say that it's cool to be dumb, but boy, they eschew anything related to nerddom by any means. They want to come off it. Who wants to be smart?
Preach, brother. You
Yeah,
are preaching to the
it's
choir
it's a
here.
it's a
Holy
it's a Festivus sermon. All right, man. Number
oh,
3. Who do you have a problem with?
okay. This might be my biggest problem of all time. People who smack when you eat, I got a huge problem with you. Close your damn mouth. We don't want to see it. We don't want to hear it. Close your damn mouth. How rude is that? I mean, seriously, there's also a condition called misophonia. Pay attention to those around you. But my when I had children, they were 1 year old. Close your mouth. You know what they did? They close their mouth and they eat polite because they were politely asked and they were taught to do that. And now we have generations of adults. I used to work with a dude who, oh my God, I could not sit by him and eat because I don't have hair, but if I did, it would have been standing straight up on its edge, and I would have gone into a murderous rage and wanted to take out my spork and jab it through his eye socket and go into his mouth and get the food in it while it's shut. Oh my God. Shut your damn mouth when you're eating your food. Do not smack. That's rude. It's trashy. Don't do it.
Think it could probably be extended to all sorts of different table manners. But I'm with you. It doesn't bother me nearly as much. I'm pretty tolerant of it. But I totally get it.
So now, number three, I came strong.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
came
Yeah.
strong. What's your
So
number three? But let me tell you, I could go off on people who smack all
this is a
day.
this
All day.
this third one is a grievance that I have pretty much with anybody, anytime. And Gary Vaynerchuk, the popular internet guru, social media guru, runs VaynerMedia, famous Jets fan, great guy. I met him one time. A lot of people have met him, but here it is. And this is not you don't it's not if you do this to me, it's anybody who does this to anybody else. Do not yuck somebody else's yum. It pisses me off. It really does. I get it. It's like the people who like anime. Should you be on a child predator watch list? Maybe. I don't know. But who am I to say? I don't care. Go to town. Watch it. So you like reggae. You're into frisbee golf. Whatever, man. I don't care. You do you. And this is where this comes up in society the most is with the NFL and it's Taylor Swift. Why does anybody care about people who enjoy the NFL because Taylor's in a suite? I'm a songwriter, you're a songwriter. I would argue that Taylor's one of the better songwriters of her generation in a number of
Pretty good.
formats. Yeah, like real good. And yeah,
Construction.
absolutely. Creativity, the gamut, especially her partnerships with Jack Antonoff. But all that to say, who cares if somebody likes it? Do not. I used to have friends who would all the time sort of like give me crap for this, that, or the other. And I'm like, why do you give a shit? Do not yuck somebody else's yum.
The way I say it is do not steal somebody else's
Right.
joy. And I tell people, do not let anybody steal your joy. Um, Actually, this weekend when I was flying, and you know how people are all gripey getting onto the airplane, and I'm just smiling, and I had my headphones in, I'm listening to music, I'm smiling, and there's this older couple, and I wink at them, I go, "Merry Christmas," and the lady goes, "Thank you so much for smiling and being happy and dancing. You know what's happening?" And I said, "Nothing's happening, man. I just refuse to let anybody else's bad mood bring me down. I'm not
Right.
going to let anybody else steal my joy. If I want to drive and dance, and sing while I'm driving, I'm going to do it. I don't care who's in the car next to me." And you're right though. No one else should look at me and go, "Why do you like reggae?" Or
Right.
you know, I'm not a huge country music fan, but I've written some country
Yeah.
music. I've performed some country music, and there are parts of it I absolutely like, absolutely appreciate. But when I'm hearing something I don't like, I'm not going to say, "Well, that's stupid. Why you listen to that?" No, it's not my business to
Right.
do
I
that.
I
I
and I'll
disagree.
give you another example of this, and I should note, my comment about anime is really, toward, like, adult males. Like, if somebody my age is watching anime, I'm like, "But whatever, you do
Okay, now
you. You do you. You do you. You do
if
you."
if it's you, if it's your our
Yeah.
age, but now if somebody is grown
Oh,
up,
right,
I
right,
still like the
right.
Peanuts.
Oh,
I still
that's
like Peanuts,
cartoons. That's not
Snoopy.
anime. That's yeah.
Well, I know, but it's supposed to be for
Right, right.
kids. But I still,
Oh,
I still
so
like Peanuts because Snoopy's my guy.
Peanuts, Beavis and Butthead. I think Beavis and Butthead are smarter. It's a smarter cartoon than what a lot of people give it credit for. Family Guy is brilliant. Simpsons have long been brilliant. But I'll give you another example of this that's in the sports world, and that's NASCAR. A lot of people, especially on the left side of the political spectrum, will talk crap about NASCAR. I'm like, you never been to a race, you never watched it. Basically, what NASCAR is a giant science experiment on an oval. So, Jeremy, a few years ago,
It
when
really
when I
is.
worked for Love's, I got to sit on pit road, and the driver at the time was, I don't think it was Landon Castle. I was a big fan of Landon Castle. It was I don't know, it may have been David Gilliland. But anyway, so I sat there, and everybody else who was in my little party went off to a hotel to party. But I was fascinated because what happens is that car comes off onto pit road, and there is a bunch of dudes, big dudes, athletic dudes, they are athletes, who have been doing push-ups for an hour to do 13 seconds worth of work or less than 13 seconds. And then there's this one guy who's just this nerdy scientist type who takes the leftover tires and takes fire to them to see how much rubber has been burned off. And he's got a beautiful mind like sheet where he's calculating numbers trying to figure out how the driver can get one more mile and shave 5 seconds off. I'm like, it's one of the smartest sports we have because it really is science in motion. And I've been fascinated by it ever since. It's not a bunch of
O-
rednecks. It is a bunch of
Okay,
rednecks
now,
in a very good
right,
way, but it is science.
absolutely. Well, to even take that a step further, it's I think it was open heart surgery. Um, there was always problems with that, and then some surgeons watched NASCAR drivers change tires. And so they said, "Can we come in and watch you guys do that?" They watched the efficiency of those guys, took that into surgery, and created life-saving techniques by watching a NASCAR pit crew.
Right. When you have the same thing and do the same competition over and over and over, the only variable there is speed. Can you get faster doing it? And it's fascinating to watch. So it's automatically my defenses come up the minute that somebody is sort of like, "Oh, I'm not gonna watch a bunch of rednecks driving, making left turns for 3 hours." I'm like, "Well, don't watch it, but don't say anything about the people who do watch it because it's a massive business and, it's actually a lot of fun."
Right, now, absolutely. Now, I have a buddy of mine that is a huge NASCAR guy. Now, when I'm hanging out with him every now and then, I'll give him a
Right,
barb or
right.
everything,
That's different.
but
That's different. You got to.
that's
You got to
right,
every once in a while.
right.
And by the way, it's not like I'll usually watch like the Daytona 500 and then maybe one or two after it, and then after that, I don't have time. There's just not enough time of the day, and there's too many sports.
Right.
So something's got to go. Do you have any
Okay,
honorable mentions?
yes, I have one. I have one honorable mention, and this is probably maybe very specific to me. I don't know, but I got a lot of problems with you people that when you're watching soccer, you say offsides. Offsides is American football. Offside is soccer, is proper football. It's singular. One ball, one guy is on the wrong side of the line. Offside. He is offside. In American football, could be a whole bunch of them, so they are plural. Offsides. Please learn the difference.
Hey, I'm probably guilty of saying that at some point, but I don't know that I am because I haven't said the term offside. Here's one for me: adults who don't know what the weather is going to be. Tune into a newscast. Open a weather app. There is a popular TikToker named Sam Dahl. She's a bartender in Toronto. She deleted this video, and I wish she hadn't because I'd sent it. You know, I worked at News 9. I'm friends with David Payne, Travis Meyer, all Damon Lane, all those guys. And I sent this one to David. Yeah, name dropping. But I sent it to my meteorologist friends because it's so true. Sam was in a car, and she had just gotten in, taken out an umbrella. She was like, I see all these people in Toronto walking around soaking wet. Be an adult and watch a forecast. I'm like, when did we get into a world? And I understand the impact of bad news on mental health and needing to take a break from the rigors of the day. But when did we become a society that is celebrates so much being ill-informed about everything?
That is a question that as a sociologist, I have really wanted to study and explore on so many levels. I mean, that is 100% correct. We celebrate ignorance right now, it seems, and weather is just another one of those. Weather app.
Right.
All you got to do is hit a button. Turn on your radio. They will give a weather update. I do a radio show Tuesday mornings, Triple Play Sports, and we do a weather update on that. Their TV, turn it on. I don't even have, cable TV, but I can, through my streaming, I can find out the weather if I want. It's not that
And there's an app called Radar Scope. You can learn to read a radar. It's not that hard.
absolutely. Again, websites, weather.com. I mean, come on. I agree. Now, you can get caught short. There are things that happen.
Yeah.
However, like today, I knew it was going to be 76, but when I got dressed, I had a long sleeve shirt and a vest on. I said I just looked too good, so I just went out in it, even though it wasn't necessary.
Same.
Right, right. But that's totally different than somebody going out in shorts and a t-shirt and it's 30 degrees.
Right, right. All right. Do you have any more? I've got one more for you.
Go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
Here's my last one. We live in a society where concerts and sporting events, especially on the East Coast, start at 8 or 9 p.m. Jamie Lee Curtis brought this up with regard to something. There needs to be more concerts, more rock shows, more big events happening in the afternoons on weekends at regular people times. Not at, if I want to go to a show, a concert, why do they always start at 8? Why can't they start at 4 in the afternoon?
Hey, so Guar is coming to Tulsa next year, right? So we're looking at, clearly everybody's looking at getting tickets to go see Guar. And like, doors open at 7, the show starts at 8, and I'm like, these guys are older than I am.
Right, right.
They're gonna come out on stage at 11 o'clock.
Right. Oh, right. And there are a lot of times when it doesn't even happen at 11. It's like, let's go to bedtime. And by the way, a lot of these places don't have chairs. I'm like, guys, I
Well, like Kane's Ballroom in Tulsa doesn't have chairs, but that's part of its appeal. That's
is
part
it
of who it
is it
is.
is it
Yeah, I no, I think so. I
hey,
absolutely
we
think
used
so.
to go to Christmas dinners there for News on 6. You know what I sat in? A chair. I know they have them.
Not for concerts though,
Okay.
man. It's a
All right.
standing only. But I get it. Trust me, I get it. That's why I don't go to a lot of shows, and I get prepared.
So
I get my Advil
I
down me.
I'm with you. There's a band called Clutch, great band, by the way, but they're very, very loud, and they sing about the Civil War a lot. And you can't sit down for that. You have to be up. Yeah.
No. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, but no, I get it though. I get it though. You know, It's Alice in Chains played the Tulsa Theater not a year or so ago. Tried to get front row seats in the balcony so I could sit down during the show, but still lean over and rock
Yeah.
out.
Gotta lean over and rock out. Well, folks,
Well, and here's the thing. I also think that those musicians like Alice in Chains, those are guys that are our age.
Right.
They probably want to go to bed
Right.
too.
Right. Or sit down on a stool for a few minutes. This is when your
Right.
back starts to deteriorate.
That's exactly it. I'm with
So if you have stayed to this entire 30-minute conversation, you deserve an ice cold beverage and an Advil yourself. I'm sure we gave you headaches, and if we said anything to offend you, fantastic. We hope you subscribe here to Bedlam Buds. That's where you can find us on the Oklahoma Memo Network. We will have social media. In fact, Jeremy, I may create social media accounts just for this one to get it started, and let this be the debut, because I think there's some straight up fire coming from this. And if you hear this on a podcast, do leave us a 5-star review. For Jeremy,
Go Pope.
I'm Ryan, Boomer Sooner. We will talk at you later and have the merriest of Christmas, holidays, New Year's, Hanukkahs, Kwanzas, and everything.
Happy and merry, all of that.